friends. So today we have another DIY project going on. I'm hoping that this one is a little bit more unique. It's a project that I actually did last year and I didn't use it the same way I'm going to be using it this year. But we are going to be making a DIY chandelier. Now, this chandelier is not going to be for lights. It's actually going to be used to display my Christmas cards. So I'm going to be doing a Christmas card chandelier. And last year, I actually did this same technique, but instead of hanging the Christmas cards from it, I hung like multiple strands of glass bulbs. And we were living in a place that had no dining room overhead light. So I ended up just wrapping a wreath with battery operated lights and then hanging the bulbs or the glass bulbs from it. And it just reflected the light really nicely. And so it worked out really well. So this year I'm going to just change it around a little bit, and I'm going to make it work to display all of my Christmas cards. So this is the items that you're going to need if you want to make this DIY. Now I'm going to be putting my card chandelier in my formal living room, and I'm going to put it in, bear with me, like literally this whole area is like Christmas exploded everywhere. So I can barely walk through here. I've just got so much Christmas decorations going on. So I'm going to be putting the chandelier over in this corner, hanging from the ceiling right here. So it's gonna hang down. It's probably going to hang about halfway down the wall. The main part of the chandelier that we're gonna use, the wreath part, is going to be about 3 feet from the ceiling. Now I have 9-foot ceilings, so just take into consideration the height of your ceilings when you're making this project. So I'm gonna have mine hanging about 3 feet from the ceiling, and then I'm gonna have probably another 3 feet or so, maybe a little less than 3 feet, maybe like 2 feet of cards hanging from it. So probably like right to the bottom of this mirror that's on my wall, that's probably where the bottom of the chandelier will be. Not the chandelier, but the bottom of the cards that are hanging from the chandelier. So that's the spot that I'm going to be putting the chandelier. Now let's get back to the actual DIY. So these are the items that you're going to need to make this project. You can choose between either a plain grapevine style wreath, and these are very inexpensive. I think I picked this one up from like AC Moore for like $4, something like that. Or you can get the pre-made, wreath like this one. I actually added a few picks of flocked pine, or spruce, whatever that is. I added 3 picks to this one. This is the one that I used last year, so I had put these picks in last year. So I'm actually going to just reuse this one again this year. But the wreath, I want to say, was like maybe $8 or $10, and then the picks were like $1.50 or something each. So it all depends on like what you want. I want to have more greenery out in that room, so that's why I decided on this look rather than the plain grapevine look. Then you're going to need, I picked up these strands of garland, and they have the little mini clothes hangers and the snowflakes on them. So I picked up 3 packages of these. Each package has 12 little clothes hangers on. So I'm gonna be cutting each one of these strands in half, so it's gonna make 2 separate strips, and I'll have 6 total strips in all to hang from the chandelier. Now I got these from the Dollar Tree. I've seen them there in the snowflakes. I think there was a couple other patterns that they had. I just thought that they were super cute and I'd be able to use them somehow. So that's what we're gonna use for that. I also picked up a package of these keychain rings, and they're just the little rings that bend open so you can put your keys on them. I bought a pack of 8, and I think I got those ones from AC Moore. Most craft places have them. I've seen them at Hobby Lobby. I'm sure Michael's has them. So I picked up a package of those. Make sure you get them big enough. I believe these were the 1-inch rings. You don't want the little tiny ones because you want to be able to fit ribbon through here. So get a little bit bigger of a size. I also am going to be using these. These are a pack of 5 of this gold toned poinsettia decoration or ornament, and these came from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to be using those. I'm also going to be using a couple more of these gold snowflakes. Now these are the gold snowflakes that are on the Christmas tree and hanging in my front window. So I kind of wanted to, like I mentioned before, I like to tie everything in together, where I use the same ornaments throughout different projects that I do, just to kind of tie it all together. Then I'm going to have several strips of ribbon. Now I used this ribbon right here on my tree out here, but I also have this gold and red and green plaid ribbon, which I didn't have a whole lot of it, but I had enough for this project. And I actually just cut these strips in, I think I cut them in 3-foot segments. So you will need some ribbon, enough to, you're gonna need 3 segments to hang from, and then maybe a couple for decoration. So you want at least 9 feet of ribbon, if not more. So probably a 15-foot spool of ribbon will be plenty. I'm also using some of this crafter's wire or floral wire, which you will definitely need. Then over here I have just a hot glue gun and glue sticks. And then I just brought a little ruler out just in case I needed it. So those are basically the items that you're going to need. You're also going to want to grab some of the command hooks. So I use the little plastic command hooks, or you can use the metal ones. The metal ones actually work really good for hanging things off the ceiling, because that way you can, you know, mount it like that upright and it makes a nice little hook. All right, so let's get started here. So like I had said before, I've already added a few pieces of this flocked, it's actually just lightly flocked pine to a basic Christmas wreath. And I think, like I said, this wreath was maybe $8 or $10, and I think I got it from AC Moore last year. So it's probably gonna be about $10 for the wreath and the little picks if you decide to add some picks to it. Now, first of all, we are going to be adding some rings. Now, I'm going to flip this over and show you. On the back side of the wreath, this is actually a dual wired wreath, so it makes it a little bit thicker, and I like this style because it makes it easier to hang things off of. If you're just using a single wired wreath, you're going to have to be a little bit more creative with your placement of your this wire right here, because you're going to want to have a place to hang your you know, your hanging pieces from. So if you have a 2-wired wreath, I prefer to use that one with this project. And so what you're going to do is, if you notice on the inner ring right here, I have these little keychain rings, and I'm going to flip it back over. And what you're going to do is you're going to just attach 3 of these little keychain rings right to the greenery. Now these are the rings that are actually going to, you're going to string ribbon through these rings, and you're going to actually hold up the entire chandelier by these rings. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're in a perfect triangle. Or you could even do 4 and do a square, like a perfect square. That would even give it a little bit more stability. I'm actually just going to do a triangle because I'm not hanging like heavy glass bulbs off of it or anything. I'm just going to be hanging cards on it. So I'm just going to do a triangle. So I'm going to be doing 1 hook here, and then we're going to do 1 over here, and I'm going to do 1 about here as well. So it creates a triangle in the center. Now I'm going to show you how I apply those rings. So basically what I do is I find a branch that is close to the spot that makes up the triangle, And I'm gonna just take one of these little rings and I'm gonna just slide it down the branch all the way to the bottom. I'm gonna take the branch, wrap it back around and up through the other side of the wire. So I'm pulling it up through just like that. And then I'm going to go back through the center of my ring again. And that's basically gonna be holding that wire right in place. And then I kind of just bend it under. So it's that little branch is gonna go through twice and hold that little ring in place. So now I have my 3 rings in place. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to start doing a little bit of decorating to the outside of my wreath. All right, so I have this little battery operated strand of lights, and I got this from the Target dollar spot. I think it was like $3. So I'm actually going to go ahead and put these lights in and around this wreath before I do any of my other decorating. So I'm gonna just what I do is I basically find a little spot where I can stick the, I do this kind of up near the top where you're not gonna see it. So where you're gonna stick the box here, and I just wrap a piece of the wreath around the wire a couple of times just to kind of secure it into place so that it kind of hangs down on the inside of the wreath. So when I reach up underneath, I can just turn the lights on and off. And then I'll just run the lights kind of like in a zigzag motion back and forth all the way around the wreath, wrapping the pine needles all around the wire. All right, so I've wrapped my lights all the way around, and I kind of just check it just to make sure that all the lights are working and look even and all of that. And I usually put fresh batteries in it before I do that, just to make sure that it's all set and ready to go. But again, the little box is just hanging on the inside of the wreath. So when the wreath is being hung up, literally you can just reach your hand up underneath and turn it on and off. So now we will start adding our ornaments. So I cut off all the little hanging tags, and I'm literally just gonna throw some hot glue on the back, and I'm gonna find spots along the wreath where I want to put these, and I'm just gonna hold them in place. Okay, so now we're going to be working on the center portion of the wreath. Now this is going to be the area that we're going to be attaching some of the strands that are going to hold the cards. So what we want to do is we want to take this floral wire right here, and we're actually going to attach a double strip of this between each of the rings on the inside. So I've already done one to kind of show you what I was talking about, but we're gonna do another one from this one to the bottom, and then from the bottom back to the top. So it's literally gonna make like a triangle of wire on the inside of the wreath. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just open up my wire, and I'm going to go up through the bottom of the wreath, and I'm gonna go through the ring. So I'm pulling that wire through the bottom of the wreath and through the center of the ring, which is right there. And I'm gonna just pull it and pull both sides, so I've got a double strand of it, and I'm going to pull it till I think I have enough, and then I'm gonna just cut it. So now I have 2 even pieces being held together by that ring, and I'm going to meet it up with the other ring up here, and the same thing, I'm going to take one of these pieces, and I'm going to go up through the center, or up through underneath and through the center of the ring. So that way, I don't know if you can see it, we've got a strand going from this ring to that ring, and then from this ring to that ring. All right, so now I have my triangle wire on the center, as you can see right here, and you can see the little hooks. And now what we're going to do is we are going to start threading the ribbon that's going to hang these three together from the ceiling. All right, so I have my 3-foot strips of ribbon, and what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that the outside of the ribbon is facing outside of the wreath. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a ring, which I have one right here, and we're literally just going to loop this ribbon right through the ring. So here it is, I've looped it right through the ring, and then what we're going to do is we're going to literally just tie this in a knot. We're going to tie it in a double knot right around the ring, just like that. All right, so there is my double knot on this one, and again, I'm making sure that the ribbon is facing out, and I'm going to do this same thing for all 3 rings, and then I'm just going to lie the ribbon on the outside just to keep it out of the way. So I'm going to do that one and then this one. All right, so I pulled all of my ribbon up together so you can see that it's hanging like a chandelier right now. I've got the 3 pieces of ribbon. So now is where you're going to want to make sure you don't have anything tied at the top yet. They're all still loose. But now what you want to do is you want to make sure that you find the right height from the ceiling. So it's kind of a good idea to do a little trial run, hold the pieces together and go and hold it up to the ceiling just to see that you have the right height from where you have the pieces bunched. Because what you're going to do next is you're going to end up tying these in a knot so that they're all the same length. But you want to, before you tie the knot, you want to make sure it's hanging the right amount of distance off of the floor. So I figured out where I wanted to tie my knot, and I've made sure that my chandelier seems level. So I've gone ahead and tied a knot right here in the end. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add another ring to the top right here, and that's going to be the part that's going to be able to hang on your 3M hook from the ceiling. So I have another ring right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the end of my ribbon here, and I've got a little bit of a tail on the end, and I'm going to put the ribbon right through the hook or the little keychain. And then I'm going to making a knot right in the end so that my ribbon has this nice knot, and I'm actually going to clip off these end pieces right here. All right, so I've got my knot and my ring, and again, this is what it looks like. And you can smooth out your ribbon if your ribbon gets a little wrinkled. You can just smooth that right out. But that's what it looks like as of right now. Now we're going to start adding the pieces that the cards are going to hang off of. All right, so I opened up one of the packages of these little clothespin hanger. It's decorated Christmas card garland kit is what it's called. And I've separated it, and I've actually pulled 6 of the little clips on either side. All right, so once I have both sides at an even length, I'm going to just clip up top. So now I have 2 separate pieces. And I'm going to do this with all 3 packages. So I'm gonna just cut everything ahead of time. I've gone ahead and taken 2 of the strands that I just cut in half, and I've actually tied one to this string right here. Now these center pieces are gonna be your longest pieces. So you're gonna tie one to this strand, one to this strand. Oops. And I'm gonna tie another one to this strand right here. And so I'm just taking a piece of the garland that I have, and I'm literally just going to tie a knot around the center and pull it tight. Okay, so now as you can see, we have 3 separate strands hanging from the center of the wire. And now we're gonna add the other strands that we cut right there, but we're gonna do a little bit shorter of strands. And what we're gonna do with those is we're gonna actually hang those from the outside ring that I showed you guys before. So again, if you flip this back over, we've got this outside ring, and we're gonna hang, we're gonna tie 3 of these to the outside ring. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna hang them, or we're gonna tie them in opposite places that these ones are hanging. So we're actually gonna use the corner points as a marker. So wherever there's a corner point, we're gonna go up onto this top ring, and that's where we're gonna hang the other 3. So we're gonna hang one here, we're gonna go over here, we're gonna find the top portion, which is right here, we're gonna hang one there, and then again over here, we're gonna hang one up here. Okay, so now when you're looking down, you should have 3 on the inside, and then you also have 3 hanging on the outside as well. And it's kind of hard to tell with the way I'm holding it here, but you'll be able to see it better once I have it hung up. All right, guys, so I hung the card chandelier. I actually had to wait till Sean got home because I couldn't reach the ceiling to put the hook. So he just hung that up for me, and I ended up putting a few more of the dollar store bulbs around, and I trimmed a few of these. I trimmed the outside pieces, the outside hanging pieces, so that they were a little bit shorter than the inside ones, just so that there was different heights, so that when the cards are on there, all of the different heights will, I have a thing for having things at different heights. So I think it will look better. So that's what it looks like. Like I said, I fluffed it out a little bit more once I hung it, and I hung some more of the bulbs. And so there it is. I think it came out really cute. Now I just need to fill it up with cards. And I haven't been to the post office yet, so don't know if I have any cards coming on the way. But I will also mention in this video that I am doing a holiday card swap, and I'm going to put a link in the description below because I did a video kind of explaining what the card swap is. And so I will put that in the description below. And so you can check that out, and you can also, in that same video, it talks about my holiday giveaway. But anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this DIY project. I think it's something different. I've not seen anybody do anything like this before, so please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and we will see you at the next video, which is coming up in a day or so. Have a great night, guys. Take care.